Hi everybody, it's Phil from Hybrid Me doing a short video as part of my Rebuilding the Golf Sim series, but on flooring and mats specifically. At the end of my last video, I had my Hybrid Me Combi mat, which is a heavy duty rubber base with a firm stance area like this and a soft hitting strip like this. And I was just playing on it, and what I realised is every single time I stood on the mat, it just drifted a few millimetres at a time in the direction of the pile of the grass. And that's common with a lot of surfaces that you just try and hit on where you place it on grass. Every time you stand on it, the thing will just shift a little bit again and again and again, and it gets very, very annoying. So what I decided to do was, no, let's do a proper flooring where I've got a dedicated hitting strip, dedicated stance area. What I didn't want to do is what commercial builds do. You raise the subfloor, you then have to sink your mats into it at the right level and resurface everything. That seems more hassle than I wanted. Also, I've got laminate flooring underneath. I didn't really want to secure anything into the floor there. I thought, what can I do cheaper and easier? And this is exactly what I've got here. Now, I'll be talking about all the different mats very shortly and what mats I offer and what kind of decision you may want to take when you're thinking about your flooring. But all I did was, great, let's go and buy some interlocking UVA foam tiles. I've got 10mm thick, the bottom one, 20mm thick, the next one. These actually are quite firm to stand on. You get a tiny bit of give, but they're more than adequate for giving you a nice firm stance area. This is a T35 strip. A standard T35 does actually come with foam backing, a bit like this. This actually isn't T35, but it's a bit like that. This is T35, but without the foam backing. Now, this is what's used in the Combi mat because it's got a rubber base, so it's already got a bit of shock absorption. And that's what I've used here because, in my case, it is sitting on a 10mm thick UVA interlocking foam tiles. What I've done here is I've got effectively 30mm of foam tiles, 10 and 20, going for 2 tiles to the side, so that's about 1 metre out. Then it drops down just to 10mm at that point and goes a bit further. We've got this interlocking, so I'm on the 10mm section here, walking on it. I'm on the 20mm here when I step up. It then drops back down to 10 about here and drops down off the end of the 10 at this point, just after the hitting strip. So basically I've got interlocking foam tiles going all the way around here, creating a kind of U around the hitting strip. Hitting strip is just secured down with industrial adhesive tape, carpet adhesive tape, so it doesn't move. There's no shifting about as I'm hitting shots. And if I wanted any additional height or reduction in height, I could just change the 10 to a 20 or the 20 to a 10, or I could get some non-slip material that could again sit underneath. And then when I put the grass down, the 2 surfaces are lovely and level for me to stand on and hit off. And it's really cheap, really quick and easy way. And you can secure those foam tiles down. I don't, I've just got them standing there. Over time, there's a little bit of movement, but we're talking every few days, maybe every week or so. I just shift them back and push them nice and neatly up against the hitting strip again. But you could secure them down, no problem. And that gives me a really nice area. Now, if I wanted a dedicated stance area and didn't want to be standing on this turf, I'd just cut out a bigger section and I'd slip one of these in. Now, Hybrid Me is selling a whole range of mats in February, and we have a dual turf mat like this one, classic kind of range mat. Nice looking fibres on top, 2 different types, one crimpled, one straight. Actually looks a nice colour, and probably my favourite of the kind of traditional range type mats. We've got the traditional type range mat, very durable surface. All of these will stand up very well to wear and won't show wear pattern like the T35 does, which I'll talk about shortly. We've got one of the kind of air spacer mats. So again, you've got this space in the middle that just gives you a little bit of cushioning when you're hitting shots. I don't know how effective that is. I haven't had a chance to really test it. My gut feel is it probably doesn't give you much more cushioning than the standard range mat because the foam's actually softer on that than it is on this harder one. But I will test that over time. And then we have this and the T35. Now, T35 I've been a huge fan of for some time now, and you can see how worn that hitting strip is. It doesn't look fantastic. However, it does hit really nicely. T35's biggest strength is it's not a very dense T-turf. So something like a Country Club Elite mat has extremely thick, dense, very durable fibres, but it certainly grabs the club more. This is my honest opinion, my experience of having one as a customer. It grabs the club quite a lot, and I found it a lot more snaggy than others. T35 is a little bit less dense. It does mean it's a little bit more spongy, but it means that I can get a little bit more give in the turf hitting through. It'll still punish fat shots, but not to the severity that other dense T-turfs do. Now, the downside of T35 undoubtedly is the wear pattern. The wear pattern means that the fibres soften as you hit through, and over time, you end up with a little bit of a cratering effect. Let me show that here. This is a kind of fresher section that's just been trodden down a bit over time. If I just roll the ball, you see it kind of drop into that crater, and that means it's just a little bit lower than the surface that I'm hitting. So it's actually a little bit lower than my stance area. So one way of getting around that would be for me to lift this up and just insert something underneath that would just lift that little bit section up like that. So it's just a kind of raised level. Because these fibres, when they're worn down, are actually great, very soft and lovely to hit through. Now, if you listen, compared to, you get a feel for kind of the softer fibres. And that makes the T35 very nice to hit through, but the worn look isn't going to be for everybody. So that's where, as of February, we will be selling an alternative T-turf, which is this one. Looks very similar, however, it's far more durable on the surface. You know, you really wouldn't see that wear pattern. And after, if you're, wanting the hitting surface to look pristine and retain that look, this will give you a much more durable surface. But it is more snaggy than the T35. So certainly it's a kind of compromise. It's not anywhere near as grabby as some other surfaces. And the benefit of all of these kind of T-turfs is they don't really have the bounce that you get with traditional mats, where you very quickly get through the fibres and onto the rubber base, which I'm not a big fan of, but many people are. So going forward, you can select whether you want the kind of more durable surface, whether you want the one that actually is going to show what it be worn, but might be better for your joints. If you've got any kind of elbow pain, shoulder pain, concern with injuries, then I actually think the T35 is an ideal surface for you, and as it gets worn, it'll be more forgiving on the joints. And again, the beauty is these are all slightly different thicknesses. If you need to therefore change the surface at any point, rip it out in a matter of seconds, stick down and delay, remove some of the interlocking foam tiles, adjust the heights, and you can always chop and change the surface that you want to hit off without having to go and rebuild your subfloor or do anything too expensive. Hope that might be useful for some people. If you like the video, please stick or tick the thumbs up. I never do this on my videos. Please subscribe. If you don't like the video, let me know. Let me know what I could do better, or let me know why you didn't like it. And if you are interested in any of the elements for building a golf simulator, please consider Hybrid Me. I'll be doing another video shortly on impact screens, showcasing the Type 3 screen and why I think it might be the screen that would be ideal for your simulator. Also comparing it again to a video that I did a long time ago to an archery type screen behind, which I also sell, a Type 1. And I'll be talking about the pros and cons of each, now that I've been using the premium type screen material for a couple of years. When I did the previous video, I'd only just moved from the archery screen to the premium impact screen. So my opinion has slightly changed, and I'll be doing that video shortly. Thank you for watching.